What's up? So there are a lot of bugs in last Epoch, and I wanted to make a list of all the bugs for Runemaster and Mage, and hopefully they are gonna get fixed in the future, but serve as something that the community can look at and see if stuff are supposed to work or not in their build, because there are a lot of stuff that aren't working correctly at the moment on Runemaster. And also, I'm going to do a written version of it that I'm going to put in the description. I'm also going to do a Reddit post on it. So if you have also any bugs that I haven't talked about here, please feel free to tell me in the comment section. I'm going to pin the comment. I'm going to add it to the written format. And yeah, it's going to be good. Just for everyone to have like a proper list. Maybe I'm going to do that also for other masteries in the future. Who knows? I think it's really useful whenever you want to theorycraft to know what works, what doesn't work. Because, for example, I had all of my builds this patch on Runemaster that weren't working correctly. Some were missing half of their damage, some were missing more than half of their EHP. There are not like small bugs. Some were getting more damage than they were supposed to at some point. But yeah. So, in general, in the Runemaster, there are two bugs that can be pretty annoying. The first one is that the runes that you generate on top of your head, so fire, they can be hidden by objects that aren't supposed to hide those runes. The simplest example is going to be Frost Wall. Frost Wall, the edge of the Frost Wall, they hide your runes. But the most annoying one is sometimes the background also hide your runes. So there are some maps where you straight up can't see your your runes sometimes. Another bug that is pretty frustrating is that your ward, this class generates a lot of ward. Sometimes, for some reason, monsters bypass your ward. It happened to me like a few times. I've seen other people happening to other people. I don't know if it's in online only or offline. I don't know. Next, in the passive tree, so Runemaster passive, there are two that are bugged that I've known about. The first one, which is the less problematic one, I will say, is the mental catalysis, which you should be able to put points in it after 15 points spent into the Runemaster tree. However, you can already spend points in it after 10 points. It even says it in the description, by the way. Yeah. The other one is Never Late. So Never Late is a buff to your spell after you use a traverse skill. So it works fine after 4 points, like below 4 points, sorry. But after like 5 points and above, that's where it doesn't work correctly. Basically, it ignores the requirement of using a a traverse skill. And you get the buff all the time. No matter what, you get this buff after 5 points. Now let's go into the skills. So first, Runic Invocation. Runic Invocation, you have the Elemental Penetration node. This gives you way more damage than it's supposed to. I believe it gives you like two times damage instead of like penetration. I don't know if the scaling is wrong or if it straight up gives you 100% more damage. Who knows? On the opposite, those two nodes, they don't give you anything. They are supposed to give you more damage. They don't work at all. Next, we have Prologue and Interlude. I'm gonna need to show you guys what's wrong with those. So they autocast 1 rune invocation and 2 rune invocation. I'm gonna do it with lining runes. So with 3 runes, it works perfectly fine. You can target the ability, everything moves perfectly. I go back. Now let's see with 2 runes. First of all, it only casts the 2 rune ability, not the 1 rune ability. And second of all, you don't go back. You stay in place. Jump in place. Now what happened with 1 rune? Jump in place. Oh. Now the ability, instead of being where you targeted it to be, it's at your feet. Yeah. This is really weird. And it's only in online, by the way. This is a bug only happening in online, not in offline. Yeah. Also forgot in the passive tree. The never late bug only happened in online, I believe. Now let's go back to Runic Invocation. The invocation specific bugs that I know of. There's Cold Fire and Lightning. They basically don't apply elements past the first hit. So Lightning. Oops. Respect. Lightning. Waiting for the element to go off. You see, it doesn't increase the element past the first hit. And same for Cold Fire. Yeah. Also a bug only in online. The Lightning Cold. Oops. It's supposed to do 3 AoEs, but it only does 2 AoEs. And in offline it does the 3 AoEs fine. There's also a bug with double runes invocation. For example, Lightning. Sometimes they don't deal damage. I don't know how or when, but yeah. There's a bug with that. Makes them don't deal any damage. Now let's go into Flame Rush. So Flame Rush, it has 2.3 second cooldown by default. Let me remove this. And if I go into this point, that's supposed to increase the cooldown recovery speed. It should go to 2.2 seconds cooldown. It doesn't move. So this node by default doesn't give any CDR, but you see below it has double effects with 150% uncapped fire res. What happens if I have 150% cap fire res? Goes to 2.2 seconds. So I get 9% increased CDR with the 150% uncapped fire res instead of 18%. The mana efficiency, by the way, works perfectly fine. That's one bug with Flame Rush. Another bug is that it doesn't work correctly with the 5-point bonus of Runic Fortress. So you do get armor while channeling per rune on Flame Rush, but the 25% armor gain as ward doesn't work at all with Flame Rush. It does work, for example, with Disintegrate. Yeah. Some reason it doesn't work with the Flame Rush. And on a build that I wanted to play, I'm losing between 1k and 1.5k ward per Flame Rush cast, because this node doesn't work. Another bug is with Epilogue. Epilogue casts Runic Invocation whenever you finish casting Flame Rush, and it consumes 125% of the Runic Invocation mana cost. However, if using Runic Invocation makes you go negative mana, it's not going to use Runic Invocation with Epilogue, which isn't a behavior that you would expect in last Epoch. Like, I don't know any other skill that has this behavior. Like, every other skill in the game makes you go negative mana, so I don't know why this wouldn't make you go negative mana. And yeah, that's it for Flame Rush. There's also like, it's not really a bug, but in the terrain, sometimes you would hit the terrain. It will stop you because whenever you hit something with Flame Rush, it stops Flame Rush. There are like small bits of terrain that blocks your path sometimes, so this is going to get fixed, but this is nothing major. And we have Frost Wall. So Aspirant's Arrival, the node that gives you damage per second of existence. It has a conditional, so you have to direct cast Runic Invocation or Glyph of Dominion to get the damage boost. However, it also works with Flame Rush Epilogue, which is not the direct cast of Runic Invocation. So it shouldn't theoretically work, but I mean, it still does. Another thing with Frostwall is that prepared wards, it says that it it casts Flame Ward on you or your allies, excluding their minions that pass through the Frost Wall. If you have minions on your Runemaster, thanks to, for example, Elemental Bees on idols, it's gonna cast Flame Ward whenever they pass through the Frost Wall. It's gonna give you the Flame Ward. So two things. Are you supposed... is this supposed to get proc by your minions, even though it says excluding their minions? So maybe it's taking into account your minions for some reason. And why are you getting the Flame Ward instead of your minions? So, yeah, bit weird. Let's go over Runebolt. So first bug on Runebolt is that the Devastator node doesn't work if you're too far away from the target. Plus, if you have extra projectile, they don't explode. They go through the enemies and yeah, straight up doesn't work. Another bug is if you pick Runestone, which is going to create a stone that makes you cast your Runebolt from the stone. You see, I create the stone. It's going to cast Runebolt from the stone. This disables the 7-point bonus of Freezing Point. So all the armor shred converted to Frost by chance doesn't work anymore once you spec into Runestone. Okay, last bug on Runebolt that is a bit more complex. If I convert the element of Runebolt, it's and I use in Runic Invocation immutable order. So in this case, it should be because I converted to cold. It should be cold, fire, cold. However, does lightning fire cold? Why? It's because it remembers the previous element that you spec into Runebolt, or the default one once you change area. That is because, like here, I respect Runebolt before to lightning, and you need to cast Runebolt once or a few times to be able to update the rune. So you see, it updated to cold, and now it only updates to cold, fire, cold. But let's say now I respec. Oh. And I'll go to lightning. It's not updating to lightning, so I have to cast it again. Update it to lightning. Now it's lightning. And etc, etc. So this is a bug with, like, it happens whenever you change areas, whenever you respec. Yeah. Now, Glyph of Dominion. Two bugs with Glyph of Dominion. The first one is Power Word Devastation. It gives you frostbite stacks per second per cold rune. And this only applies the frostbite stacks at the last explosion. It's not like every second. So it's bugged. The other bug is with Charge Reflection and Arcane Mirror. So it gives you ward per second per 4% in cap res. And this one gives all res whenever you are on the glyph. It snapshot your res for the word per second before it gives you the all res. So, I mean, this shouldn't work like that. So right now, if you want to get the all res buff for the word per second, you need to cast it twice. Let me show you. Right now, getting 540. Let me wait before it goes below 100. I'm gonna cast it twice, and you're gonna see the amount of ward that I'm getting. 1, 2. See, I go way past 500. I'm at 1k. Okay. We also have a new skill, Frostclaw. This patch. This node, which gives Cold Pen, Snap Freeze duration, doesn't work at all. Straight up doesn't work. This is losing 144 Cold Pen for Glacier, by the way. This was one of my build, RIP. And there is another bug that got a bit fixed, is that Frostclaw has 3 projectile, and in some maps, sometimes you only have 1 projectile. They fixed it in one of the map, but I heard someone said that on Orobis, for example, sometimes you had only 1 projectile, and yeah, I don't think it's fully fixed. Another ability that was completely changed is Black Hole. The Black Hole, there are 2 big bugs. The first one, the best one, I would say, is that you have Cascade Fracture and Armageddon. Cascade Fracture has a chance to recast Black Hole whenever it ends, and Armageddon cast every second Meteor. If you have those 2 nodes spec'd, it's gonna make the Black Hole infinite, and it's gonna cast Meteor indefinitely, basically, until you change areas. Yeah, this is really broken on bosses, but it's consuming mana, by the way. And the other bug is binary system. So by default, Black Hole is a cold ability. This makes it so that you have 2 Black Hole, 1 fire, 1 cold. However, the bug is that you have 2 fire Black Hole now. You don't have a cold and a fire one. Basically disable the cold tag and put a fire tag. The other honorable mention is that Lightning Blast, if you proc Lightning Blast from other sources like Frostwall, this node right here, or a 2-handed sword that is called Battle Mage Endeavor, Lightning Blast is not gonna do any damage this way. I haven't tested with like other sources of proccing Lightning Blast. Those 2 sources, I know they don't deal any damage. Last ability that I'm going to talk about is Disintegrate. So the range on the extension node that increases the range doesn't work, doesn't increase the range. And this node that gives more damage per shock, so you can scale it to 25% with 5 points. It's bugged, and it's capped at 5% more damage per shock, no matter how many points you put into it. Yeah. Those are all the bugs. If you find any other bugs, please feel free to tell me in the comment. I'm gonna pin the comment. I added to the written version in the description. And thank you for watching. Maybe I'm gonna do a similar video or concept with like other masteries. I think it's really useful also if you want to tutorial craft and know those bugs beforehand. Because it sucks doing like your character in online and figuring that it doesn't work at all. Bye bye.